Hello, Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, and this is TransurfingTV. And today, what you do you? It is such a good message in the Transurfing book and modality. It's mind-blowing. The saying that Vadim Zeland states in the book that really sums it up, just hits the nail on the head, is no one is perfect until you fall in love with them. So why not fall in love with yourself? Boom, there it is. And this is something that I really struggled with for a lot of years, trying to gain success by fixing something about myself first so then I could fit into something. And it just caused my layer of reality a whole bunch of problems and weird frequencies and weird messages to my mirror, right? And once I realized that the path to success had nothing to do with me fixing parts about myself first, all that stuff can just come along with you, right? There is nothing written anywhere that says that stuff cannot come along with you on your path to success. And I'm gonna break it down of exactly how I see it. And if you are challenged to do you right now, how you can tap into a more pure version of yourself, let go of feelings of inadequacy or shortcoming or faults or anything that you feel you are held back by, that you can release yourself from and just kind of go forward. This is exactly what I've done. So before I get started, remember to like this video and comment below. My world is taking care of me to enter my daily giveaway for my reprogramming stickers and Reality 2.0 teachable course down below. Check it out. Join us on Facebook and subscribe, all that good stuff. So you do you. This is sort of, this is Reality Transurfing 101. We get caught up with the convincing arguments from the pendulums in our external environment that we have to adapt to those standards in order for us to reap the rewards that are available to us in the endeavors that human beings typically go after, right? So this is, classically seen in people really adapting the nature of who they are to try to fit a corporate environment, or people sort of not being themselves in romantic relationships out of fear that they need to be a specific way in order to be loved, right? Or all sorts of, you could go off and name like so many ways that people do not tap in, or rather that they they hinder their own pure nature from coming through out of fear that that quality is not accepted and you will not be successful in whatever realm if you bring that quality to the table. So this is, and I did a video on this recently called The Big Lie. This is the big lie, right? This is the big lie. You can, and I am a walking testimony to this, you can become whatever it is you want to become, really being the truest version of yourself and not compromising yourself ever with who you are or what you are, right? What you are. So I know that kind of seems like, well, what the hell is she talking about? For me, doing this right now, this is not my wheelhouse, right? This is not the person that I was prior to embarking on this endeavor, right? I didn't have the skills or the abilities, any of the things that somebody would think that they needed in order to do something like this, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. You learn that stuff along the way. And whatever shortcomings that you feel, or in my case, all the shortcomings that I felt would sort of sabotage any progress in me doing this, I felt I had to resolve those shortcomings first, and then I could do this, right? But again, it's the other way around. As you take action and as you move towards that variation of yourself, as long as you acknowledge that that variation of yourself does in fact exist in the alternative space, all you have to do is start taking action that you perceive that future variation of yourself takes, and all of those shortcomings, all of those flaws, all of that stuff that says this isn't for you starts to dissolve as you move forward. So any of you that are challenged right now to resolve something first, so then you can start something, this is now a new perspective. There's another way around it. There's an easier way around it, because battling with yourself is not easy. So this is about stopping the battle with yourself and saying, okay, baggage, come along with me. So, okay, flaws, you're coming along on this path of success, and you can do it, right? You can absolutely do it. I'm walking proof of that. So a few questions to ask yourself. How are you compromising yourself to suit the needs of pendulums today? So really what transurfing did for me is it opened my eyes to this reality that I bought in to this theory that I needed to shape myself and mold myself to fit a certain precedent so I could gain benefits from that pendulum, right? So I could be successful, so I could have friends, so I could be in a romantic relationship. Now, as most of us probably know, when you are not acting like yourself, then you are not really merging with something that is truly for you, because you're not bringing who you really are to the equation. So the whole thing is kind of like a house of cards that can ultimately fall, and oftentimes does. And approaching whatever it is that you intend to have from this place of feeling like your absolute purest self, this is when your foundation becomes so steady that then you can really, really build something of meaning on top that is not going to just crumble, right? So pendulums convince us that we have to set a specific, we have to adhere to a specific standard so we can fit in, right? Or we can play the part. Now, Tufte talks a lot about this in the book, playing the role of. Now, you don't want to play the role of for the pendulum. You want to play the role of for yourself, being the truest version of yourself. You are going to become an actor, and you are going to really live whatever reality that you intend for in your future, but you are going to do this from a place of authenticity, just doing the actions and having the thoughts that you believe that pure version of yourself on that end frame would have. So it's you doing you and moving through those frames to get to that end frame as you, not as somebody else. Because again, that's faulty. You get to that end frame and then you realize that nobody in your life really knows who you are, and it's a pretty lonely place, right? I've ended up there, and I am never ever going back. So, second question here, what are you telling your mirror? This is a huge one. So again, down here, okay, flaws, you're coming along with us on this path of success. Okay, I actually had a conversation yesterday with someone where we were like, yeah, at a certain point we both, agreed there's nothing to resolve before going after success. All of your idiosyncrasies, all of your flaws, all of your perceived shortcomings, all that stuff really can be used to your benefit. Now, I'll give you a really good example. I felt very shy for a long time around certain circles because I didn't go to college. I didn't graduate from high school. And I tried to keep this a secret, right? I wouldn't talk about it. I would be elusive to my education. And at a certain point I realized, I'm just gonna tell people I didn't graduate from high school, right? And it ends up that people are incredibly charmed by that. People like that. People like that I have managed to, gain some pretty big successes in life without all the typical tools that the pendulums convince us we need in order to gain success. So just in me switching that sort of thinking that I lacked something or something was faulty in me, and I decided almost to put that at the front of the line instead and be like, hey, I didn't graduate from high school, I didn't go to college. This was me telling my mirror that I was enough and I was okay. And the fact that I didn't have an education really is a benefit, right? And again, it became a benefit because I chose to give it to my world as a benefit rather than giving it to my world as a shortcoming, giving it to my world as something that I was lacking, and then experiencing the consequences of that exact choice, right? So it all boils down to, do you have the guts to pitch it to the world in a new way that is going to actually make it a benefit to you, part of your charm, rather than you approaching the world thinking, something's wrong with me, I can't do it like this, I can't say that, I gotta hide this, I gotta conceal this. So taking your flaws and actually inverting them to a new position where they're benefits rather than flaws. 3, what thoughts are you engaging in that is keeping you in a static reality? I've been talking a lot about static reality lately. This is you saying, okay, this is what I've got, right? This is what I've got and I gotta make do with it. And it kind of sucks, but this is my lot in life. So again, you doing you in a more productive way, in a more transurfing way, would be you really disengaging from that version of you and accepting, acknowledging, or merging, or at least really just kind of like embracing this idea that there are an infinite number of versions of you. There's not one version of you. There never was, right? You are a different person than you were a year ago. And that person you were a year ago is a different person than the person you were 10 years ago. So what thoughts are you engaging in that are keeping you in a static reality or in a static version of you where there's just one version of you? And how can you do you in a way where you are tapping into some of those other variations of you? I hope that makes sense. And again, it all comes down to acknowledging, taking the first step that you believe that there are an infinite number of versions of you and opening yourself up to some of those different variations. 4, what does your heart really want? Oh my God, this is a huge one. And this is, I know it's a challenge for a lot of people because they're like, I know this concept, heart and mind coordination, but I don't have the thing that's making me feel that heart and mind coordination. And I'll admit, I got very lucky because I found transurfing, and at the same time, I felt heart and mind coordination about bringing this knowledge to the world. So I got super lucky because the source itself actually became my heart and mind coordination. But if you're challenged right now to really do you in a meaningful, purposeful way, and you don't know what path to take or how to get there, you're going to have to amp up a certain number of things in order for you to really get in touch with what it is your heart wants. And some of those things are exactly what I'm presenting here, right? Primarily, how are you compromising yourself to suit the needs of pendulums? Coming back around to this one, remember the voice of inner intention, the voice of your mind, connects very, very strongly to pendulums that want you to serve their purpose, right? So if you are really challenged by finding out what it is that is going to make life feel like a feast, be an active heart and mind coordination, it's time to really assess and manage the pendulums in your life and figure out exactly what it is they're asking of you that is you overriding the voice of your heart and what your heart really does want. Now, my solution for people that are ready but they don't really know what to do is, again, assess and manage your pendulums, really have a think about it, and dive into self-care and self-love routines and spending time alone, getting outside into nature for some long walks, and really just setting the intention that you are going to get in touch with what your heart really, really wants, and then you are going to do you to get there. This is kind of my tapping into heart and mind coordination from a place of authenticity, and then using that energy fused with you truly being who you are as a person and telling your mirror, okay, flaws, you're coming along on this path to success, and not allowing the voice of your mind or the standards of pendulums to continue steering your ship, right? This is you taking back control. So let me know your thoughts on this one, everybody. This is kind of a deep one, right? Curious to hear your thoughts. Remember to like this video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thank you for watching Transurfing TV. Bye.